Hello and welcome back to Lately Fashionable. I'm having an unexpectedly busy week, so I do not have anything new for you, but I've pulled out a video from my archives that I never finished to share with you today. Oofda. It's hot out there. So my daughter's birthday is this week, and also I have unexpected house guests. In a good way. My cousin came to surprise me with her husband and their son, and we are going to go to Colonial Williamsburg together, which is like a lifelong childhood dream. We have each been separately, but we have not been to Colonial Williamsburg together, and we're going to bring our American Girl dolls. So I'm very excited. But that does mean that I do not have the same amount of time to make and edit videos that I would normally have during a week, and that is why I'm going to finish editing a video I started 2 years ago. It is about making this skirt. I love this skirt and I had a lot of fun making it, so I do want to share it with you, and I had always planned on making the video. It just kept getting sort of preempted by newer and more exciting things, and I never got back to it, and that's okay. We're gonna finish it now. Like I said, I finished the skirt 2 years ago. I actually started it a year before that, so this first clip is actually from December of 2022, and then the rest is from February of 2024. Just really quick, want to show how I'm getting the best possible use out of my lining fabric. And I did a similar thing, but oriented that way for cutting out my skirt pieces, and I think I'm going to flatline this one because the wool is a little bit loose and I want to make sure that the seams are nice and strong. Okay, now in the footage you are about to see, you will not see my face at all, and you can kind of hear in my voice I clearly have a bit of a cold. So I think I just was not up to putting on makeup and being camera ready, so I just filmed what I was doing, and that's what you'll get to see. And I did want to make a video about this skirt specifically because even though I'm using the same pattern that I've used multiple times for 4 other skirts before this one, that all have their own videos, I think. No, one doesn't, but the other 3 do. I thought it was worthwhile to make a video about this one because I did some different construction techniques, as you will see. I cut out this skirt, I think, last winter, and then did nothing with it for a whole year. But I came back to it a couple months ago and cut out pockets from the remaining fabric, cut a waistband, and now that I'm picking it up again, I am assessing what I have done so far, which is mainly to baste the lining layer to the outer fabric, and I'm going to treat them as one. That is my plan, and then I will bind the raw edges of the seam allowance with this rayon seam binding, which I got at an estate sale a while back. I have a lot of it in different colors, so I'm just trying to work through what I have and make some good use out of it. So I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 side panels, so that's 2 side front, 2 side back. This is one of the back panels. This pattern actually calls for 1 center back panel, but I had very limited fabric and I ended up having to cut my back panel in 2 just to be able to fit everything on the fabric that I had. So I will have a center back seam. That was my compromise. And then the center front I was able to get on the fold. So I just need to pad stitch, basically, the center front and this last back panel together, and then I will be ready to assemble. Oh, and I've been using this thread for my pad stitching. I think this spool got run over by a car, so it's not going to fit on a sewing machine, and the thread is still fine. It was a bit dirty, but since this is just, going to be basting that I remove later, I am not so worried about how the thread looks. So this is just going to be hand sewing thread from now on. Once the pieces were basted together, I could just sew the seams normally. I then pressed them open using a wooden clapper to help set the fibers in place. I stitched the seam binding onto both layers of the seam allowance by machine, then hand felt the free edge to just the lining fabric, fully encasing the raw edges of the seams. This gives a very clean finish on the inside. I'm thinking I must have lost my voice at some point while working on this project, because I fully stopped talking to the camera for the rest of the footage. Oh well, that's what voiceover is for. I opted for a wide hem facing on this skirt for 3 reasons. 1, the wool is rather thick, and folding it over twice would make a very bulky hem, not to mention shorten the skirt more than I wanted. 2, I wear linen slips under all of my skirts and dresses, but of course they are shorter than my skirts, and I wanted to cover the seam allowances along the lower edge of the skirt with a soft cotton. I used an old bedsheet, which would feel nice against my knees. And 3, the facing gives a nice bit of structure and weight to the hem, which makes it hang better. Okay, I didn't really go into how I did the waistband, and the clip that you just saw of me showing the waistband, the file got corrupted, so I only used the very front of it. I wasn't able to salvage the rest. That was a casualty of the great hard drive dropping of 2025. But luckily most of the footage from this project did survive. Anyway, I did not have a wide enough piece of this fabric to make the waistband fold over double. So on the inside, I kind of widened it with Petersham ribbon, and then I was able to use that to supplement the width of the fabric. And then I top stitched both along the top edge of that ribbon and then another 1/4 inch in from the edge, just to give this kind of flimsy wool a little bit more stability. So this Petersham ribbon has two effects. It both makes my waistband wider and gives it more strength. And then I just finished it with buttons and buttonholes. I didn't really talk about it in the video, but I did pocket placket opening. So on either side, the pocket back is attached to this inner waistband, and then the pocket front is attached to another waistband that only covers the front. The inner waistband connects in the middle, as you saw, and that is the full waistband of the skirt. And then the front one, like I said, only covers the front. So I don't have a second waistband in the back, it's just in the front. And this is for size adjustability. If I change sizes, I can move the buttons, and it's not going to really affect the drape or the hang of the skirt in any way, because there's already a pocket slit there. And if I needed to, I could swap out these eyes for more traditional bars and make it smaller, or I could add an extension and make it a little bit bigger, because this waistband gets covered up and you don't see it when it's being worn. So that was another innovation of this skirt. So like I said, I really love this skirt. I do wear it a lot, mostly in the winter, because it is a bit of a thicker wool, and because it is fully flat-lined, it does give an extra layer of warmth. It's a really great winter skirt. Also, I don't know if I mentioned, I used vintage wool. This came from my grandmother's sewing stash from probably the 1960s, maybe 1970s. And it did have a few moth holes, which I was largely able to cut around. Most of them ended up on the inside of the pocket, and I think a couple were on the inside of the waistband, but then got covered by the Petersham ribbon, so they don't show. They were within the seam allowance. Wearing this skirt kind of feels like carrying around a little piece of my grandmother, and it's just a great staple basic in my wardrobe, and I love it a lot. Here's some footage of me wearing it from 2 years ago. Well, that was a fun little trip down memory lane. If you enjoyed, feel free to give me a like, and if you want to see more, definitely subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully something new next week. Bye! That's the palace.
Palace.
Take a little video of us.
Hello.
Lucy and friend.
Bringing Felicity back to her hometown, like I wanted to do.
Samantha's
for
first
years.
carriage ride.
I can smell the poop.